Been 10 years and 2 days. There are so many colors and they feel so bright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my playthrough of Sonic Colors.
Take off at the speed of sound. Bright lights, colors all around. I'm running wild, living fast and free. Got no regrets inside of me. Not looking back, not giving up, not letting go. I'll keep on running. I'm gonna reach for the stars, although they look pretty far. I'm gonna find my own way and take a chance on today. The sky will start so bright, the colors feel so right. I've never felt like this. I'll keep on running. The sky will start so bright, the colors feel so right. Just take my hand, we're gonna reach for the stars tonight.
How's it going, everybody? It's Joey64 here, and welcome to a brand new playthrough. Today we are playing Sonic Colors for the Nintendo Wii. This is a playthrough I've been really excited to do, because I have a lot of thoughts on this game. First of all, I want to bring this up just while we're actually here. I do kind of like the aspect of, it just throws you straight into the game. Obviously, there's the open cinematic that we just watched, but I do kind of like that aspect of it where you just kind of get thrown into the game. You just start playing, and because that's something a lot of modern AAA games I think have an issue with. Oh, I personally have an issue with a lot of modern day games. Like, I recently been playing through like what's Sea of Thieves. I recently been playing through Sea of Thieves. Great game. But I've just been playing through it on my own time, just like casually. But I hate how much, especially when I started it, I didn't actually start playing the game until after the first time I played it. You have to go through all this tutorial nonsense, all this dumb crap. And my friends were just like, just push through it, trust me, it's good. And I did, and it was really good. But it's also just like, I shouldn't have sit here through a half hour of cutscenes and tutorials and all this nonsense. It's the same reason why I can't get into Kingdom Hearts. The first game, I don't know, I can't get into it. I wish there was a way you could skip the tutorial, which some modern games I feel like are better with that. A lot of times they'll give you an option, but like, if you play this game before, yeah, you can skip the opening cinematics or the tutorial stuff, which I do appreciate. But that is one thing I do like, how they start this game. But yeah, it's been 10 years since this game came out. A whole 10 years. It's the 10-year anniversary of this game. 2 days ago, at least. So from the time this upload, Friday the 13th. Oh gosh, it's Friday the 13th. Well, let's hope this video comes out on Friday the 13th and it does well now. But yeah, it came out on let's see, what's November? Yep, November 11th of 2010. This is November 11th of 2020. So yeah. This is a playthrough, fun fact, I've actually had this game recorded for about 2 years now. It was originally, I planned to do this basically following up after Sonic Generations, or Mania, Mania. But, I came up with the idea of what if I done with the 10-year anniversary? Because I was like, well, you know, you never really gonna get that chance again to do it on an anniversary. Like, next major one will be like 25 years, you know? So, yeah, I took advantage of that, and here we are. Sadly, I didn't take advantage of Sonic Generations, but I'm sure we're going to get a new Sonic game next year anyway, so that's probably what's going to be the big Sonic game for me to play through next year. Anyhow, though, yeah, here we are. Actually talking about the game, well, nearly 5 minutes and I haven't even talked about the game yet. So, the last, basically, they kind of throw y'all into the perspective of when this game came out. Sonic was in a rough spot. We had Sonic 06, which was if you know anything about a game, you know most people got it's the worst game to ever come out. Period. Just the worst Sonic game. Worst Sonic game, worst video game of all time. A lot of people consider it that. And yeah, it was a major failure. It truly was. In many aspects. And there were some aspects it was good in, but that'll be for the eventual playthrough of that game. And that really killed Sonic's reputation. Like a couple years later, we had Sonic Unleashed back in 2008. And that game did okay. The big thing people don't like about it was the Werehog, which was basically, imagine like God of War style gameplay. Like a big beat 'em up basically. And that's what a lot of people didn't like about that. But the daytime levels were outstanding. They're like the gameplay you see here, we're homing and attacking around. And it introduced a new thing to the Sonic series, the boost formula. If you look at the bottom left hand corner of the screen, you see the little boost meter, or you see a meter. That is the boost meter. And the way it works in throughout the games, it varies. In some games, it works like how you see it here, where you find little capsules that we'll get more into later in the story. And we hit the capsules, and so now you get these the Wisp. We'll learn more about the Wisp later. But you get the power of the Wisp and you're able to boost around at fast speeds. And even without the Wisp, you're still pretty fast. And more of the recent games like Generations and Forces, it's typically just you run into enemies, you get it. And Unleash, it was how many wings you collected, you got more, you boost meter. It changes throughout the games, but I think now it's basically just one of the enemies. In this game also, if you want the enemies, you do get boost meter, but you have to already be boosted for it to do so. Also, for a Wii game, this game's breathtaking. For this being on the original Nintendo Wii, it's breathtaking. It looks beautiful. And it did come out near the tail end of the Wii's life cycle, 2010, like we've talked about earlier. So yeah, it is a fairly old game, like 10 years. Like, I remember when this came out. So like, wow, that's the crazy thing. But yeah, I have to get into the actual story because I'm just kind of talking over the cutscenes here. So Sonic and Tails basically come up to Eggman's Interstellar Amusement Park, which we can see right now. We're getting a flashback here. Eggman claims to be it as an apology for all the times he's done bad stuff before, but Sonic and Tails are not buying it. Clearly, as seen as why they're investigating it. That's the basic plot. This is it's something we're definitely gonna get into in the future. This is a major turning point in the series. Just in general, the Sonic series. The tone. The tone in this game gets it's a lot more comedic, a lot more Saturday morning cartoon-esque. And you really, that's something, Sonic's always been a bit more of a zany series, especially if you go back to early 90s. But mainly starting around the adventure games, we got more serious stories. And sometimes a little too far games like Shadow the Hedgehog and 06, but, you know. It's been but the tone's been fairly comedic, and for the most part, like in the adventure games, it got a good balance of like the tone, like there were high stakes, but it's still like the tone was pretty lighthearted still. Well, in this game, the stakes are high, but they don't act like they're high. The best way I compare that to is like with Sonic Adventure 2, when it gets to the point where Eggman is doing its big like plan, Sonic gets serious, and he does like. He drops the attitude. He drops like the funny the little comebacks and all his little quirks and all that. He gets down to business. Like, I gotta save the planet. Something we'll get into later is the plot of this game. Spoilers for a 10-year-old game, but Eggman basically he's trying to make this mind control beam to take the mind control of everybody on Mobius, Sonic's planet, Earth, whatever you want to call it. Really, it doesn't. They keep changing it. Earth, Mobius. In some games, it's called Sonic's World, which is a pretty lame name in my opinion, but eh. what you gonna do? I don't make the games, but yeah. But they never really take it as being that serious. This was, in my opinion, the last game to actually take a Sonic story seriously was Unleash. And now it kind of feels a bit more in, nothing against Mario games, but it feels a bit more like Mario. It's like, okay, here's the story, here's the plot, and this, I still believe the Widen is still very solid. And to this day, I think the Widen is still very solid in the Sonic series, but especially here, you see a completely tone, like the tone is different, everything's a lot more, it's a, like I said earlier, it's a Saturday morning cartoon now, it's a lot more comedic. Funny thing is, after we go fast forward a couple years in the future, and we get Sonic Boom, a Saturday morning cartoon. But, and it's something fans have definitely been missing. And that's where kind of later on we had Sonic Forces, where they're like, oh yeah, we can be serious, and they really weren't. That was honestly one of my only complaints with Forces, was the potential of that story, which, again, a story for another time, a playthrough for another time, but that was something that really got lost from me on Sonic Forces. And Forces, we lost that. We didn't really have that whole stakes. And really, the last moment, just in general, in like Sonic games, I really remember us having any kind of stakes that felt serious. Lost World, honestly, is only like Generations, kind of at the very end. Like I do love that final cutscene in Sonic Generations. Right before you go against the Time Eater, I love that cutscene. But I'm also very nostalgic for that game, because if you know, and if you've seen that playthrough, you know that's my fourth Sonic game I've ever played. So that could also be why. But yeah, and getting into more about Sonic Generations. Coming back to this game is very hard. It's very difficult, to me at least, because a lot of the flaws that they fix in Forces and Generations and Lost World are still here, because they were still trying to figure out the boost formula. And Unleashed, they had it pretty darn good. And here, they improved it a bit, but this is when they started doing that 2D, 3D hybrid a lot more. And Unleashed was kind of there, but I would still say Unleashed is still more of a 3D game. This definitely feels more like a hybrid of 3D and 2D, in my opinion. But, I don't know. That's just, I don't know, with this game, it feels like it's like in between Growing Pains area, where it had to be, okay, we showed this idea in Unleash, we needed to make it a bigger, like, let's actually expand upon it, make it a bit more complicated, like, you know, make it more than just, you know, the same thing, you know? And in this game, I feel like this was them throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. And I really do feel like Generations and later on Forces really capitalized on this idea. And in my opinion, I feel like Forces has the best controls, but not the best level design. That still goes to Generations and Unleashed for me. But out of all the boost games, in my opinion, this is my least favorite after revisiting this game. Because yes, I did record this footage about a year or two ago, but I have recently played through this game again just for, obviously, commentary sakes. And coming back to this game, I still like it, but I don't love it. There's multiple issues I have with it, which really comes down to level design. I don't think we're really going to see much of that to the later levels, which we'll see the later levels, trust me. But these first couple levels are really solid, I would say. I really do enjoy like this area, Tropical Resort, which is the first area of the game. The game looks beautiful. It's really not the style of the game that bothers me. I know that bothers some people. The main thing that bothers me with this game is the level design. And we'll see that a bit more, especially when we get past like Sweet Mountain and Starlight Carnival and Tropical Resort, which this whole part is this Tropical Resort, which is another small issue I have with this game. As I've probably noticed, the first two levels took about the first 10 minutes, and now, something you probably noticed, we're blasting through these levels fairly quickly. Like, we just beat another level, like right there. That is the issue I have with this game. I feel like they could just have 3 acts or 4 acts and combine, because there's 6 acts in each world. And the first two acts are pretty lengthy. They're like a normal Sonic stage, and the rest of them are like the ones we're playing here, where they're just kind of like little mini challenges. And it's not like the side modes. No, you have to beat these levels to beat the game. Which for some levels later on, like Planet Wisp, which I'm not a big fan of level design wise, it's kind of a relief. But then for levels like this, like Tropical Resort, I love Tropical Resort. It's a great starting area, but it's like, well, we're done. After I get past this little puzzle here, little platforming puzzle we're doing right now, the buttons and all that, it's like, we're done with Tropical Resort. That's it, you know? And I feel like that's just an issue I've had with this game, where it's just, I don't think they balance the levels that well, personally, to me at least. I will say, something they did add to this game, they actually haven't brought back since, it's the double jump. I see, I'm probably going to use to grab this red wing, actually. Oh no, I'm boosting. Never mind. Again, it's been a while since I recorded this. But, you probably see me use it a couple times. There's a double jump in this game, and it's really good. It goes well with your momentum, and I enjoy that. So, it's really good. The momentum in this game is good. The controls are good. But out of the 4 boost games, I do personally believe this is at the bottom. Personally. And again, going back to what we talked about earlier with the tone, you kind of see you have Eggman, literally the plot of this is enslaving an entire alien race. And it goes into a joke about cheeseburgers and all that. And it's still funny, but it's definitely, if this was Unleash, that probably wouldn't have been a joke they made. You know? That's the big issue I have with this game, is this. It's not the game itself on its own, the story. It's compared to other Sonic games, I feel like we're missing something, personally. But again, not that I don't enjoy this, obviously. This is a great game. The story is really comedic. The cutscenes are comedic. Generations, especially Lost World, continue that. And actually, for this game, we got new writers for the Sonic series. Starting with this is we got 2 new head writers who are still the head writers for the series to this day, which hopefully I know a lot of people are saying we may get like Ian Flynn as a future writer for a game, which at this rate I think we kind of need. I think Sonic's about ready to, maybe we can try to step it up a notch. After all, it has been 10 years since we started this, and maybe, you know, getting someone who can do a good mix of the comedic, cocky Sonic, but also have it so it feels like we have stakes again in the series. The last game, I honestly felt like had that. Actually, not mainline game, yeah, Unleash. The last game just in general was, in my opinion, Black Knight. Which, say what you will, that game, go watch my playthrough if you want to know my opinion of it. I personally adore that game, but I know many people aren't a fan of it, and I can get it. But me personally, that's just me. I do enjoy that game. You're not gonna change my mind on that. And that was the first boss. Basically, you just have to run around the circle here, and you have to hit his eye 3 times. Pretty simple. Something we'll see later. Actually, every boss you fight twice, so we'll probably actually get more in depth about talking about this guy in the later part. But that's Tropical Coast. Right there, that's the entire first area, all in about 19 minutes. If you take out cutscenes, probably be about 10. Again, the length isn't an issue because the levels are still solid, but the issue is really shows itself later on, which again we'll see that in the future. Later on, we'll see that. Also, if you want to see these cutscenes, they're on YouTube. I know I'm talking over them. I'm actually going to be trying to... for some games like this, if you've noticed in the past, I haven't really talked over cutscenes. But in this game's case, for the most part, I feel like you're not really missing much. And really go out and buy the game. I'm assuming you'll hear to listen to the commentary. That's why it's a commentary. You hear my thoughts. That's typically why. But yeah, and like I said, like this cutscene that I'm talking about now, it's great, but it's not like you really need to know the story. Like, all these levels, the levels have nothing to do with the story, except for it's a theme park. You know? It's not like Unleashed where, oh, we're going to all these countries because, oh, we have to, because there was the Gaia temples. So, yeah. Also, that's the only fourth wall break in this entire series. Oddly enough. I always felt like that fourth wall break was really out of place. I remember being a kid being really confused there. But... Oh, this is Yakura. So basically, Yakura is these aliens called Wisp. He's part of a race called the Wisp. Basically, Eggman's kidnapping all of them, as we've seen before. It's your job as Sonic and Tails to go out and save them. Pretty self-explanatory. It's not that big of a deal. Again, it's just something to push the plot. It's, you know, Mario has to save Peach, so you have a goal, you know? So, yeah. I actually do want to talk about this cutscene. We're near the end of the part. May want a little over it. But why he would say, I miss an arm. Do you have an arm? I don't know why when I was a kid I was really confused by that. And I didn't realize what this was. I realized that's the arm making that. You can hardly see it, at least for me. When I was younger, I could hardly see that. That's the mind control beam that we saw there. And obviously it's leaking, which isn't good. Skipping ahead to the end of the game, I'll probably talk about this more then. Basically, that screws up. That's one of many things that screws up Eggman's plans because obviously it's leaking. So, but we'll get into that later. Anyhow, that's it for today. Next time we'll be going to Sweet Mountain. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this first part. I'll see you all in part 2. Bye!